Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Zainab binti Ab Maalek. So I am from DMK5A. Today I will be presenting on the topic of CSR. So move on to the introduction. I will tell you first about the definition of CSR. So basically CSR can be simply defined as the ethical role of the corporation in society. The purpose of CSR is to increase long-term profits and to gain shareholders' trust through positive public relations and high ethical standards, to reduce business and legal risk by taking responsibility for corporate into action. So, I believe nowadays many people expect a company to generate a profit and conduct themselves in an ethical and socially responsible manner. With this being said, I believe it is so important for a company operates in a way that demonstrates social responsibility. Even though it is not legal for a company to do that, but it's seen as a good practice for a company to take into action social and environmental issues. Other than that, the reason why CSR is important is because it encourages the company to make a positive impact on the environment and stakeholders. So one of the companies that often perform social responsibilities are Proton Holding Berhad together with DRB Haiqal. These two companies helps a lot and carry out their missions in helping the community, the environment, and also the country. For example, their 8 missions, which is Proton and DRB Haiqal, collaborated in donating 2 vehicles, namely Tata Zenon and Proton Izora to Al-Fikra, Malaysia Care Center. In addition, they also assist in efforts to ease the burden of those severely affected by the floods in the East Coast and many other social responsibilities they perform. So, I believe that CSR is so important because it can bring a lot of benefits to the company and also to the society as well. So among the benefits or advantages from CSR are a better brand recognition, after that positive business reputation, and then it is cost savings, and it can increase sales and also can retain customer. After that, and it is also easier to access capital. Now, let's move on to the background of the company. So, the company that we choose is Proton Holding. So, the first establishment was on 7 May 1983. The establishment of Proton was the idea of Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, the Prime Minister of the time. So the first model produced by Proton is Proton Saga, which is produced in September 1985 in Shah Alam. So let's move on to the headquarters, company's headquarters. So Proton headquartered in Shah Alam, Selangor, and operates additional facilities at Proton City, Perak. Other than that, it is also owned by DRB Haiqal and Proton Holdings. So the mission of Proton Company is to continuously create and innovative processes, products, and services that win people's heart and mind. And their vision is to be a successful Malaysian automotive manufacturer in the global that is customer-oriented, produce a quality product with competitive prices, and also their vision is to create a product that is innovative.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haiqal bin Akhnaz, and today I would like to list and explain the implementation of the CSR activity before and during COVID-19 pandemic crisis, Proton. So as we all know, CSR is known as corporate social responsibility. It is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. So, by practicing corporate social responsibility, also called corporate citizenship, companies can be conscious of the kind of impact they are having on all aspects of society, including economic, social, and environmental. So, to engage in CSR means that in the ordinary course of business, a company is operating in ways that enhance society and the environment. So, instead of contributing negatively to them, corporate social responsibility is a broad concept that can take many forms depending on the company and industry. So through CSR programs, philanthropy, and volunteer efforts, businesses can benefit society while boosting their brands. As important as CSR is for the community, it is equally valuable for a company. So CSR activities can help forge a stronger bond between employees and corporations. It is boost morale and help both employees and employers feel more connected with the world around them. So we choose Proton as our company for doing this report. As we all know, Proton is a Malaysia's first automobile company that manufactures one of the finest cars in Malaysia these days. It was a great achievement that Malaysia has achieved towards global status. So it was also thanks to Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, which was the founder of Proton. He is the Prime Minister of Malaysia in 1979 and known as Father of Modernization in Malaysia. So the first point is Proton supports call to develop next generation vehicles. So let's get back to the CSR. Proton has been shown to make many CSR in Malaysia, which shows on how much they cared about the surroundings. So Proton supports call to develop next generation vehicles, which is in 21 February 2020. Proton launched the government's move towards transforming Malaysia into a hub for the development and production of next generation vehicles and critical components. So, following on from the call to develop energy efficient vehicle in NAP 2014, the new strategy presents opportunities to stakeholders in the automotive industry to introduce new technologies to the country while also elevating the skills and capabilities of the local vendor community. So, with the company's ownership structure, which is 50% is owned by the RB Haiqal and 49% by Geely Auto. So Proton is able to leverage on its shareholder strength, which is giving it access to local ecosystem via the RB Haiqal and access to new technologies via Geely Auto Group. So to seize opportunities presented by NAP 2020. So at this early stage, however, Proton will continue with its schedule of investing in new products and technologies as well as plant and manufacturing facilities. So the company will also continue to work with local vendors and promote investment in new technologies, especially through strategic collaboration to infuse technical capabilities and expand commercial viability. Since day bygone, Proton is developing a new concept for better implement towards the company and the environment. So with the new technology vehicles featuring electric and hybrid powertrain as well as autonomous and connectivity technology, they can shift the power supply of the vehicle from petroleum to battery, which was more eco-friendly. And this will save the earth from the current air pollution which was caused by petrol. So the second point is special scheme for government employees and also the fresh graduates. In 4 October 2019, Proton and Bank Rakyat are offering special financial packages for fresh graduate and government employees on specific Proton cards. And this special package, which runs until 31 December 2019, provides up to 100% financing for fresh graduates and government employees. The packages consist of two special financing rates, the Anaklu, which offers 90% financing starting at an attractive rate of 2.88% per annum, and Anaklu, which offers 100% financing starting at 3.3% per annum. And the offer is limited to Malaysians who are new graduates aged between 20 to 30 years and government employees aged between 18 to 60 years for the purchase of the Proton Persona Iris, Exora, and Saga. This has been an opportunity for the new graduates and the government employees for them to have a chance on purchasing a Proton vehicle. This is going to be a benefit to them if they've been provided up to 100% financing. This will give the chance to the people who has ever wished for a car to have it on their own and their family benefits. It does help on the society since they provided the benefits for their customer. So the third point is, which is the Proton begins delivering face shields to medical frontliners. So at this very time, the world has waked from the invasion of a new disease which is coronavirus or known as COVID-19. One of the dangerous diseases since cholera is and is getting worse than before. It's also been affecting the economic status of every country across the world. So during this COVID-19 pandemic, Proton has been part of the associates that contributes to the society, environment and many more. 16 April in 2020. Proton has started producing face shields for medical frontliners as the company reinforces its commitment to help fight the spread of the COVID-19 virus in Malaysia. So the first batch of 8,000 units will be shipped out on 16 April to hospitals in Kelantan, followed by other East Coast states due to the logistics involved. So the original design for the face shield was contributed by UiTM, which is the University Technology Mara, and the designers at Proton Design then developed the frame based on feedback from end users and also added the slogan, "Stay strong, we will get through this." It's really been a good thing for the frontliners who has been working these days during the pandemic for our safety. So this kind of support really helps them on becoming stronger to their spirit for their endurance towards the hardships on saving the citizen. And they are the heroes that we should look for. They are risking their life and sacrificing their time with family for the sake of us on saving the world and make the world a better place. So as for the last point, Proton continues effort to support medical frontliners, which is in 3rd December 2020, national car maker Proton today handed over 8 units of the Proton X70 to the Ministry of Health for use in Sabah. So the vehicles will be used to assist in the ministry's logistics and surveillance effort in the ongoing COVID-19 fight. So the handover was done at Fukloy Corporation's Proton 4S outlet in Kota Kinabalu. So throughout the year, Proton has been actively supporting MOH in various ways to help in the fight against COVID-19. So the loan of 8 cars to MOH Sabah is in addition to the 50 units of the Proton X70 loan to the Ministry of the onset of the pandemic in March. So this really shows that on how cared the Proton really cared and take this matter seriously from time to time. This also can be an example for other companies to be part of the associate on helping the nation getting through and free the nation with this pandemic. So it really helps a lot. Even though there's a lot been going these days, we still have the will to make changes for greater good. So that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khair Fikri bin Islahulkhair, and today I will continue to the next part, which is the benefits or advantage for the organization in conducting the CSR program. So the important and the benefits or the advantage that can be obtained through the implementation of corporate social responsibility (CSR) is to gain or to make more profit. In addition to the benefits for social and environmental, is also defined as economic prosperity, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability. The question that's always legal in our mind is that this investment in CSR is profitable? Because this CSR usually company will take some their resources, or the company will remove their resources from the company. However, there is no denying that the implementation of the CSR to help the company in conducting operation or in conducting CSR. Although not in the short term, the effect may be seen in the future. Continuous effort will get a good result. If we look at the CSR program or CSR activities that Proton has done in the end of 2019 to increase the high profit for the company, which is, for example, we saw recently that Proton has donated some model Protons, which is X70 cars, to the frontliner Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia staff. If we look at the sale of X70 at the end of 2019, a total of 26,331 units were sold. This stated at the press conference in the website of Proton. And this is the best-selling Proton segment model for sale at the end of 2019. Okay, next we go to the second benefit, which is the benefit from the company in carry out CSR is to increase brand enhancements and better employee moral value. Through the implementation or through the benefit of CSR, company is more aware of this corporate institution and thus can introduce the society more widely. The good image of the company is also rising in the eyes of the the community. The community will give a positive reaction and perception to companies that care about the social and welfare interests of the community. In addition, the moral value of employees can be enhanced through the activities that the company carry out. Employees will be more concerned about the surrounding community and can create good values in the individual itself. Values such as being considerate, cooperating, helping each other, and so on can be improved. Indirectly, a company will be filled with individuals who have a moral and care about other individuals. Next, the benefit of the CSR by our company is to reduce the poverty rate in the country. Various assistance provided by corporate companies in the form of financial assistance can indirectly help the poor people to improve their standard of living. For example, the educational assistance provided to poor children is able to change the life of their family. Through education, the cycle of poverty can be eliminated. Thus, the poverty rate will be reduced. In addition, financial assistance in the form of capital to start a business can also help the poor poor people to improve their standard of living, so as not to be plagued by poverty forever. And next, we go to the last but not least, the commitment in CSR or the advantage in the CSR by company is able to ensure the long-term sustainable of the company. The business operation will be able to last longer and can make more contribution to the nation, religion, and country. In Islamic business institution, this situation will be able to help improve the company performance and help the company grow more and grow faster, because as we know, in Islam, 9% of the sustenance earned is from the business. So therefore, business companies that are able to survive long and competitively are as an asset to the country in developing and expanding the country economy in further direction. Indirectly, success in business can help develop society and build human civilizations.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Ruqayah binti Ab Maalek and I am from the MK5A. And for today, I will present about my part, which is the challenges and difficulties faced by Proton in conducting the CSR, as well as the explanations on how to overcome these difficulties. So there are 5 points. Number 1, greater scrutiny. Second, competitive disadvantage. Third, risk to reputation. Fourth, contrasting business interests. And 5, buying support. Okay, let's talk about the first point. So CSR is often done publicly for it to work excellently and to gain many benefits. This being said, Proton must not do it quietly. Thus, it will, of course, expose them to greater scrutiny or inspection, and also opens the gates for greater risk of being criticized for any mistake or any irresponsible action done by the employees. For example, when an employee from Proton is involved in a controversy or problem with any organization or community, the brand will most likely be negatively impacted. In order to manage this problem, we suggest Proton to have and build a strong strategy before actually practicing the CSR. For example, to release a public statement on the issue. On top of that, Proton can also consider to have a clear rule and regulations for the employees to follow in order to protect Proton's position and reputation in the market. So let's look at the second point, which is competitive disadvantage. When Proton decides to run a CSR management, it will increase the cost of production for the products and services, which means that they also have to mark up the prices for their products, their selling prices for the products and services. Okay, so nowadays there are customers that are willing to pay more if the company is socially responsible and ethical, but most of the time customers most likely prefer to invest on the cheaper products for them to cut on their expenses and to save up some money. Okay, despite this disadvantage, Proton can overcome this by looking at CSR as an investment that will benefit them in the long term. Since Proton is a huge brand with a good reputation and a strong position, they will earn more profits that would exceed the CSR costs in the beginning. So they must also measure the results to the cost and plan carefully on which area to invest, so there will be no shortcoming in the future. Let's look at the third point, which is risk to reputation. Oftentimes, companies that practice DCSR or involved in socially responsible activities, they must share and express some of the information or some of the weaknesses of their product to the public and to the community. So this disadvantage can affect the reputation of the company. So when Proton is integrated with CSR, they must be careful with the amount of information that they share. Okay, so they must filter the information and release only the safe information. Okay, so let's move to the next point, which is contrasting business interests. Usually, the objective of any organization is, of course, to generate and earn profit, including Proton. But CSR requires them to care for the social welfare. So, this at times can cause conflicts between the business interests. So, let's say the objective for Proton is, of course, to generate profit, but sometimes they cannot make decisions because of their responsibility for the social welfare. For example, when Proton wants to buy an asset or machinery, they cannot decide whether they can buy it or not, because they will have to go through the evaluation whether or not the asset and the machinery will affect the environment or be harmful to the society and community. So, to manage this, the best that Proton can do is, of course, by understanding the disadvantages of CSR clearly and make effective planning, set up strong strategies, and tread carefully so that the damage can be reduced and minimized, and also to gain many benefits from it. From this, they can evaluate also which of the decisions to be made after they follow this method. Okay, last but not least, buying support. In this context, customers and communities usually have a negative impression and perception toward the organizations that run CSR. They seldom believe that the company have pure intentions about this CSR, but rather this is just for them a way to buy the support from the customers. So this disadvantage and negative perception can happen to Proton and might directly or subconsciously affect and cause people to withdraw from buying any product or service from Proton. Regardless this, we suggest for Proton to stay true to its intentions and come up with an impactful and meaningful solution. This can be done through finding initiative or taking initiative and effort to understand what is the real problem within the community and actually provide solution to help them to solve the problems. Okay, so those are the 5 points from me. Thank you very much.
So guys, after all that, we all know what is CSR. So back to me again. So I have a few recommendations for the Proton Company, which is I would like to recommend that Proton should have an event that can be conducted for the environment in needs such as charity and nature preserve, which can benefit the society, nature, environment, and also surrounding. It can also boost up the nation for global status, which is going to be an advantage to us for better known across the world. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
So the recommendation from me is we also propose to organize one event which is team engagement. We call as team engagement. These team engagement activities by getting closer to the homeless community. Such as activities are very suitable to do because it can create a sense of empathy in ourselves. We expect homeless activities will have an impact on participant itself, especially those who work as a customer service executive or as a Proton marketer. This homeless community is made up of various age groups. For the elderly, they have no place to live and have to find food, which is quite difficult. Therefore, by the activities, team engagement like this will give joy to the community and indirectly affect the participants when they can feel the joy when giving a little supply of food and drink to the homeless. Yes.
So now let's move on to the recommendations. We recommend Proton to create an eco-friendly cars. I believe by doing this, it helps to reduce carbon footprint and supporting people who prioritize eco-friendly practices. This means eco-friendly cars can help to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels that damage our environment, which is not good to the environment, such as oil, natural gas, and petroleum. Since electric cars use battery power to drive the motor and do not burn petrol and fossil fuels, they create zero direct carbon emissions, which is it is very good not only for the society but also for our environment and our health being. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamualaikum. Bye bye. So now I want to talk about the recommendation. The recommendation that I suggest for Proton is of course to create a strategic and maintainable corporate social responsibility program by building a strategy based on Proton's main strengths. So Proton has to focus on their strengths and build strategies and CSR program based on those strengths. By following this method, Proton CSR efforts will be more effective. Because if Proton have built strengths, research, and expertise in a specific area, supporting CSR that is aligned to its strength can be an advantage for both community and for the company with new customers and revenue opportunities. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the conclusion. In conclusion, after we have learned about CSR, many benefits that we can get from it. So it also brings a lot of benefits for a company and also for the society as well. By applying CSR, a company can increase their profit because of the positive business reputation. It is also helps in retaining customers' loyalty. It saves the cost and it will create a company's brand awareness, which is good for a company. And after that, CSR has brought many advantages over disadvantages. In order for a company to stay in the market or to gain their profit, they have to apply CSR in their business operation.